Everybody go tapping with the pop.
Y'all tune into the Pop Podcast. And guess what? There's an episode of Leon.
And you are tuned into the Pop Podcast.
With the Pop Podcast with my boy Tigmatic. You hear me? It's going down. To follow the Pop Podcast with Tigmatic.
That's that number one.
That's that number one.
Introducing the all-new, all-natural Rat Patch. The smoking bandage for broken, stale, cracked, torn cigars, cones, cigarettes, wraps, you name it. Here we have a stale cigar with 2 holes in it. We're going to take our brown paper Rat Patches and we're going to tear it in half because a little goes a long way. You lick the shiny adhesive side of the wrap, and then you apply it to the damaged area, smoothing it over as you go, like you see me doing here to get all the air bubbles out and to make it a complete airtight seal. We're going to take our other side of our Rat Patch and do the exact same thing with the other hole. These are our brown papers, and now we have a completely new fixed cigar. No need to throw it out, no wasting money. Now we have the same cigar, completely broken in half, and these are our white colored papers. As you see, the shiny adhesive side is the side that you lick. Hold your piece of your damaged smoking vessels together. Apply the Rat Patch. And it doesn't even have to be perfect. These are how well and how good the Rat Patches adhere. Smooth it around. You can add heat to speed up the drying process. But like we have here, a completely fixed, airtight sealed cigar. Odorless, tasteless. It's a game changer, y'all. Get yours now. TheRatPatch.com. Patent pending.
Yo, let me tell you this. I deep ball, I run the place, you know. And if you want step to this, a gunshot in your face, you know. Money, money, we are make that money, 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 money. Money, money, we are make that money, 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 money. Money, money, we are make that money, money, money. Money, 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 we have it that money, 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 money.
Pull up 14 to the flow, ho. Don't get it, can't have it in my home. Respect has been the motto, stronger than this rap. No combo, no blue winners. We play the game, lose cause so yourself to blame. Make life make sense, new basketball. Need a full court pressure, I've seen fall. Stay down for my team like Kobe. Stop playing with me, devotee. Magic in every position, like Johnson cooking a vision. Stay playmaking, never had to fake it and negotiating, but for complication. Shot, guaranteed 3 up, even when it's strong, they can't be us. Now you wanna be a queen, but you can't handle heat. It's skill to be missed, morale we built to kill in the game's betrayal. You believe in Jesus, but you wanna beg and plead. Now I got them on their knees, look at the sky rain, I don't
money, 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 we are make that money, 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 shit. Money, money, we are make that money, 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 shit. Money, money, we are make that money, 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 shit. Money, money, we are make that money, 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 shit.
Get that money, money, make them act with me. Chasing clout is funny, so they hate, but act so chummy. Jesus knows my heart, so I can't get even. He knows my head's a darts. You hold 13 reasons, stalling curtain calls. Time for my new season. What's my time for? Someone help me handle feelings. Try to stay with chips and I'm still intact. I made you, baby, and I can take it back. You was made a fool, I wasn't built like that. Donate the weakness, keep it stack. You stay thinking small, so I had to grab the ball. What's in my vocabulary? You told me no hot but score. Can't put the price on tag. We just too immune to back. But I live in truth. I let the world look to me for proof.
Money, money, we are make that money, 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 shit. Money, money, we are make that money, 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 shit. Money, money, we are make that money, 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 shit. Money, money, we are make that money, 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 shit. Me I work hard for the money, my focus, money. Don't play with my money. My money come in a bundle, in a bundle, in a bundle. My money it come in a bundle, in a bundle, in a bundle. My money it come in a bundle.
Two shots of Manolo. Freshly fitted in polo. My money got O's like Ocho. EYI's the label. Check out the logo. If you wanna bounce, bitch, pogo. Built this here on my own. Ho. Step to the side, let me slide in this photo. Been a businessman, I got euros and peso. Real definition of a hustle flip all dough. Might see me deep in my bag, Robert De Niro. Shooting at you niggas like Steph and Hero. Beef, I'm about that nigga, deflate your ego. I'm out of state doing great, me and me go. Can't fast forward the game, there's no cheat code. Your bitch on my line all day, just like a free throw. It's over for you niggas, check the last bar, finito. Fresh out and I feel right in. Knocked the bitch and we spent the night in. First night was like a burst of life. Second night she invited a friend. You fake niggas all like to pretend. Don't mind me, I'm at it again. I'm ahead so close, all I see is the wind. It's a little too late for the competition. Not to mention, I've been penny pitching with a sack so fat I don't need attention. I got connects with Jordan, I'm the real Pippin. Soaking in my thoughts, call it double dipping. Choose the right light, you can never lose sight. Take a leap of faith, it's great, you'll be alright. Pop the champagne, it's the ace of spade night. They betting on me like a Floyd Mayweather fight.
Say no
All right, y'all. Listen, we here. Today, we're going to do something a little different, and I hope y'all don't mind that. For those that are tuning in for the first time, welcome to the podcast with Tigmatic. I'm your host, Tigmatic. I just played my artist of the month, AWAX 1 million, and ISIS Iman. Okay, today's episode is sponsored by Red Patch, Black owned, by the way. Show love and support. This is hiphop.com, Dollar Radio, Hollywood Radio, and Going In Radio. Listen, I have my guest here today. I have both my guests, and both of my guests are people that fight for our people just like I do. And, you know, when I see things that are going on wrong or hear about things that are going on wrong, I want to highlight them because injustice needs to be spoke up about and the stories have to be heard so change can happen. So I have my guest, one who is an alumni, my dear friend as well. And I'm going to put her on the solo dolo cam as well, but also one who had a tragic loss due to the police. And y'all been seeing me advertise her coming on. I have to say how I feel, y'all. I'm pissed about hearing this story in the first place because this man gave his life to his country and still lost it in the wrong way. You know? So I have his mother here to tell his story for him because, you know, unfortunately his life was taken. So I'm going to give her solo cam first. Sister Chantemekki Fortson, how are you? Oh, let me unmute you. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Okay, we still can't hear you. Hold on 1 second. Let's get that fixed. Come on now. What's going on now? You had it going. It was good. Now you can't hear you. So give me 1 second.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I can hear you. We can hear you. There we go. We are here. And I have my other guest. Like I said, she's an alumni, and she is here. Dr.Melina Abdullah. How you feeling, Doc?
Greetings, brother. Greetings, sister.
Greetings. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm well.
Good. Well, I'm glad to be here with you.
Thank you. Thank you guys for the support.
I'm glad to have you both here with me today as we unpack this tragic story and you know, talk about the injustice done. So, Sister Fortson, you want to take it away? Tell people who you are and what happened.
I'm a single parent. I raised 4 boys and I'm still raising my 1 girl. So I'm the mother of Senior Airman Roger Fortson. I'm his physical fighter as of now. I'm a mother in pain. I'm a Black woman in pain. I'm not angry, but I'm hurting. I'm disappointed. And I'm confused as to why I lost a hero and there's still a murderer hasn't taken accountability for his death.
So tell us a bit about what happened to Roger before I get into questions. Walk us through what happened on the day.
On May the 3rd of 2024, Roger was in his apartment in Fort Walton, where he's stationed in the Air Force. He was playing his game and he was on a FaceTime call with the young lady, and the police was looking for an apartment. So they was knocking on other doors. We actually had the recording on FaceTime where you could hear them doing it, but some kind of way the video has gotten distorted. But he knocked on the door. He didn't announce himself, even though Roger asked who was it. The second time he knocked on the door and Roger asked who was it. So the third time when he knocked on the door, Roger did say who is it? But he got his gun because he's from Atlanta. So he said, I think it's something funny going on. So he got his gun and went to the door. So when he went to the door, by him being an airman, by him being a calm person, by him being humble, he never thought that would be the last day he opened the door. That would be the last door he opened. He opened the door, and when the man told him to step back, as Roger stepped back, he started shooting him. And what we heard from the FaceTime, he was telling Roger Roger was telling him, can you help me? And he was telling my baby to be still, be still. And Roger said, please help me. And he said, be still. So at that time, he should have called the Air Force because Roger could have been airlift. They never took him to the military hospital. They took him to a civilian hospital, first of all. Then I guess when the other officer got there and they was going, we watched them step over him as he was begging them to help him because I told her, do not hang the phone up. Do not hang the phone up. I was trying to call his friends that's down there with him so they could go to his apartment. And the lady said he's military. Once she said he's military, then the officer started saying, stay with me, buddy. Start acting like he was trying to save him. And they were so ignorant. They still didn't notice that he was on FaceTime. While Roger was laying there dying, they went back out to...
Because for some reason you got muted out again.
Okay.
Doc knows that we go through this. We went through this before trying to talk about the presidency, and for some reason we got some bleep outs, and I don't know why this goes on, but don't keep talking. Let me see if I can get them to fix it real quick.
Okay.
We're going to make sure this story gets told today. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
All right. Continue.
As Roger was dying and we was listening on the FaceTime call, you could still hear them knocking on the door trying to find the right door. So when his when his fellow airman got there, his friend got there, he said that he didn't see Roger and they wouldn't let him in. And I'm like, you got to see him because he's still in there. So at that point, I don't know what happened with him, what transpired after he shot him, but I do know on the way down there, I got a call from the hospital, the nurse at the hospital, and she was asking me, was my son on drugs or was he on any psychotic medicines, anything? And I said, no, he was not on drugs. He didn't smoke. He didn't do nothing. I said, you're not going to help them cover up what they just did to him. And I asked her, I said, why is he at your hospital? Why is he not at a military hospital? And she said, we're trying to save his life. I said, okay, that's the story that you guys are going to go with. And the nurse hung up in my face. About 30 minutes later, a male nurse called and asked me, was I driving or was I the passenger? And I asked him, I said, where's my son? I asked him, where's my son? Unfortunately, at that time, I was 2 hours away from the hospital. And I say, just tell me where's my son. And again, he hung up on me. So it was no respect, it was no empathy, it was no compassion to me. And I've been saying this since he killed my baby. He murdered my son multiple times. When he got the call, when he was on his way to the call, when he got on the property, when he got on the elevator and pressed the wrong number, when he got off on the wrong floor, when he didn't announce himself, when Roger opened the door and he physically shot him, when he shot him and Roger gun fell to the side and he still proceeded to shoot him as he stood over with him and played like my son was a fish out of water. So many ways he murdered Roger. In so many ways. When I never looked at the video because the FaceTime was enough for me. We did a press conference and I saw that Roger had his gun in his right hand just holding the handle. And my heart, it just crushed because my baby is left-handed.
I'm
He
sorry that you had to go through that. Now you said the body cam was released. Was it released?
The day of the body cam release, Sheriff Eric Aiden met me at the door as we entered the sheriff department and said he was sorry. He was playing like he was crying crocodile tears. And I just clenched to my son's photo that I was holding. And he said if he see anything that wasn't right on his mama, he's going to do this and he's going to do that. So I sat in the room while they watched the video. And I just heard my family screaming. I even heard his attorney, and I've never heard that kind of scream from a man. It wasn't a feminine scream. It was just a different scream. So when they came out, when I went out the room, my family was just on the floor crying. And I asked him, was he gonna do? I said, so are you gonna do anything? Of course he wasn't gonna do anything. Before I could get out of that building, he went to the podium and wanted to say that Roger was in the wrong because he had a firearm. Because I started talking to other people, their Congressman Matt Gaetz called me. And he was like, it's unfortunately what happened to him. They're looking into it, all of this and all of that. And I told him what Eric Aiden said. And he said, I asked him to stay away from it because he's too close to it.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, he real close to it. When I heard when people told me what was said, I said, that's not how it happened. I said, they blotted out the body cam for y'all. Because the body cam that the family saw and the attorney saw was different from what they released to y'all on TV. They tried to make you guys feel like he had compassion. When you guys heard him use profanity, it was because the lady told him that Roger was military. He didn't care about killing Roger. I gave him.
Once he found that out, he knew he was in the wrong.
That's why he said he was worried about himself. That's when he started coming up with all kind of excuses. That's when he went home to his family as if he was a hero instead of a murderer. And that's when
go ahead, continue.
That's when I lost respect for Eric Aiden, the sheriff, because he put it on his mother. You said on your mother's life that you was going to get accountability for Roger, but soon as I turned my back, as a matter of fact, he lined up his deputies as if we was going to come back in the building. You
so
just welcome
was this
me.
guy charged?
He was charged with manslaughter because he's a police. They say you can't charge a police with murder. So he was charged with manslaughter. They gave him time to get his affairs in order. He they arrested him, got a mug shot, took him to another county and gave him a bond. And it's just one lie after another. And the fact that he's talking to people, and I hate to say it, he's talking to Caucasian people that are best friends with my son. And they're telling me you have to fight, because I'm standing here and hearing it come out of this man's mouth saying he's going to be okay because he have a friend in the FDLE. They're
Yeah, so
laughing.
he's feeling like he's going to get away scot-free.
That's what it looks like.
Doc,
The fact
are you there?
I'm here.
You're here. Doc, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, turn your camera on, Doc. All right, there you go.
Okay.
All right, I want to bring all of us in here together.
The fact that I'm going through this with Andre, and before I made it back to my house, they had arrested people for Andre. Didn't give them no bond, nothing. Don't even have substantial evidence against these young black boys. Baffles me how you have a video showing him killing an airman. That should be some form of treason or something.
Absolutely.
He was still active in the military. He was in special operations. He wasn't trying to clean the water. He wasn't fixing the plane. He was rescuing other people, other Americans.
Served this country, and this is the repay he received.
That's how they paid him back.
which is devastating within itself.
Yes.
The first time I heard of this was when we were all in a meeting with Dr.Melina, who was here. And Doc, I want you to give your 2 cents on this.
Well, I don't know that I have 2 cents to give other than I'm so sorry, Sister Chantemekki. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
That we live in a country like this. I'm so sorry. And I think every mother resonates with your story, and every mother mourns along with you. You know, we are, this is devastating. And you know, Black Lives Matter grassroots fights for those who are killed by police and state-sanctioned violence and white supremacy. And we also know that community violence is a symptom of white supremacy. And
right.
So, you know, I can't imagine what it's like to lose 2 sons within months. I can't imagine. And so the first thing that I'll offer is just my prayers and condolences and camaraderie, because I don't believe in weak thoughts and prayers, right? You know, the people who have thoughts and prayers and then not gonna do nothing, right? Thought you got my heart and my prayers, but also my pledge to work alongside you and to struggle alongside you.
Thank you, guys.
So, you know, it shows the hypocrisy of this country that, you know, this country is built on the stolen land of indigenous people by the stolen labor and lives of our African ancestors. And we know that's the foundation of America, but they claim to be different. They claim to be post-colonial. They claim to be, if we think about people like Donald Trump, right, claim to be, you know, a place where Senior Airman Roger Fortson should be exalted, not executed.
Right.
And they executed him.
Yes.
They executed this beautiful young Black man who loved his mama and had aspirations for himself and said, I'm going to be a help. I'm going to be a help to my mother, but I'm also going to be a help to my entire community, to my siblings. And we have to think about how this country steals away the lives of people who make our world better. And, you know, we should all be not just saddened, and I am saddened, but outraged
Right.
that they dared to do this.
Yes.
And, you know, we say Roger Fortson's name so that we can do righteous work in his honor. And so that means lifting up his name, but it also means making sure that the cop who stole his life is held accountable and the world is changed in such a way where they can't just say any Black man, even sitting in his own home, talking to his own girlfriend, having a day, cleaning up, you know, doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Right.
It's still in jeopardy, still has the same targets on their backs that we've had since we were stolen from the shores of Africa. So we pledge to work with Sister Chantemekki to transform the world in honor of her son, Roger Fortson, and also in honor of Andre, right? Also in honor of all those who've been stolen. So that's our pledge. And just very concretely, I know that there's a pretrial hearing coming up. And Sister Chantemekki, do you want to give us the date and location of that if you have it with you?
So the pretrial is going to be April the 14th. It's going to be in Okaloosa County at 9:00. And
at the Okaloosa County Courthouse, right?
Correct. Okaloosa County Courthouse at 9:00 on April the 14th, which is a day before Roger's birthday.
So anybody who can get to Okaloosa County Courthouse, we never, ever, ever want Sister Chantemekki to walk into a courtroom or walk into anywhere without backup, right? So anyone who can get there on April 14th at 9 a.m., please do. Please also know that Sister Chantemekki drives there from Atlanta because she lives in Atlanta. She drives with, how old is your daughter now? 9?
She's 10.
10. 10-year-old child. Mother, she still has a 10-year-old child. And she drives all the way there. And we have to make sure that when she gets there, that she's greeted with love, greeted with, you know, some snacks, some water, but also so they know that the people are stronger than they are.
But
And
that's what they do. They keep it hidden from their community. When I did the first press conference, only people that knew what happened to him was the people on the base. The civilians, they didn't know anything. They kept calling him an assailant. They never would say Senior Airman Roger Fortson. They never even say his name, Roger Fortson, until I did the press conference. The people were able to put a face with the incident, with the assassination. They to this day they still don't say his name.
You know what's sad about that is that he served his country
right
to the best of his ability and still got treated that way.
Yeah.
That pisses me off, to be honest. You know, I gotta say it like how I feel, because you know it's just wrong all around the board, and for his life to be taken was just wrong within the first place. From the moment the door is opened, whatever occurs in that moment shouldn't have been that.
Right.
That's how I feel. That should have never happened. So for them to try to spin it whatever way they want to spin it and say he shouldn't have had a weapon or whatever they try to say. Nah. As an officer, your first initial thought is de-escalation, and it should be anyway. No matter what the situation is, right?
But the apartment had an off-duty state patrol officer that they said answers to the disturbances. Why wasn't he never called?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
A Miami reporter researched, investigated everything. The days that they said that they was getting calls for the disturbance, Roger was in Kuwait. My baby survived in a third world country, one of the countries that our politicians try to make us think is the worst country in the world. I've seen him on FaceTime with those people over there. To where it's scam. I'm like, you're not supposed to be there. You need to get back to the American people. Those people took care of my child better than his own people did. That
So
was
he was
crazy.
a caring person, and
Yeah.
for this to happen to him is
Yes.
a horrible beat within itself.
Roger was very humble. Roger was very humble. He wanted to be a pilot, but he didn't want to collect the debt that go with it. Because he saw me struggling to raise him and his brothers, he didn't want to put that responsibility on me. And I begged him. I told him I would have sold my plasma. I don't care. But he said, no, mama. Because they told him, you go in the Air Force, you're not going to really be doing anything. Because he was just that smart. He's a genius. When he took the test, they picked him up. They followed Roger from the time he took the ASVAB all the way up until he assassinated my baby.
So let me ask you, Sister Shante Mika. I'm sorry.
You could just say Mika.
Mika, let me ask you, Mika. Did they try to give you an explanation on why they used deadly force, though?
He said he was threatened by Roger's eyes. He said his
Now,
eyes
what
was.
type of crap is that?
He said his eyes was aggressive. So when once they fired him, that's when they released his testimony. And just from reading the comments, a lot of people was telling them, no, his eyes didn't give aggression. They said Roger was just looking like Roger thought he was safe because the man was the police. Little did he know he wasn't. So many people commented under that and told them, no, you're lying. They said I looked at the video. One lady said she went back and looked at it, and she said the same thing I said. Roger had the most big, prettiest brown eyes. If he can get away with killing somebody because of their eyes, when he had a gun in his hands, and you said his eyes, no, that's just showing how much he cared for life, how much respect he had for my son's life, how much respect he had for my son's character, how much respect he had for my son's demeanor. He has no respect. He doesn't even have
I
respect for
feel
his
you.
own mama. To kill someone else's child and to say his eyes, you don't even have respect for your own mom.
Yeah, that's horrible. It's definitely horrible. So, Doc, let me ask you. When these things happen, right? What are some things that people can do when they hear about things like these, like what happened to Sister Mika? How can people get more involved? Let's break that down because, like you said, she needs all the support and help that she can get. So, how does people get more involved? And what does Black Lives Matter Grassroots do in these moments? For those that don't know, let's tell them a bit about it.
Sure. Well, first of all, we say organize, organize, organize. Those are in the words of Kwame Ture. We know that this state, that the United States, that the Trump, Vance, Musk regime is trying to do everything that they can to put down movement. And so they've done all that they can to discredit movement. They've done all that they can to threaten organizers and arrest organizers. We're facing cases right now, and Sister Carrie Horn, in fact, is on trial now in Buffalo, New York. We know that Brother Reggie Bunch is facing charges now. So they're doing everything that they can to take us out. We know that there's constant threats against organizers. The only thing that we should be doing in the face of that is being even stronger in our organizing. And so what that means is join a Black Lives Matter grassroots chapter. So you can go to blmgrassroots.org to find a chapter near you. We do have Black Lives Matter Grassroots Florida, which is the first family-led chapter. It was founded by Sister Deanna and Brother Andrew Joseph Jr., who are the parents of Andrew Joseph III. And so they founded that chapter, and they're helping to organize. Florida is a much bigger state than I knew. And so they're based out of Tampa. So it's a long trip for them as well to get to Okaloosa County, Florida, but they'll be there and the others will also be there. So the first thing people should do is organize. Join a BLM grassroots chapter. If you want to start a BLM grassroots chapter, because there's not one in North Carolina, Brother Tigmatic, then we know that we always do onboarding every year. So right now we're 39 chapters. We're slated to have 22 new chapters this year. And so if that's you, if you have, a group of folks who want to start a chapter and that you're abolitionists and you align with our politics, we'd love to have you join. We also need you, even if BLM grassroots is not your thing, right? Maybe that's not your get down. Maybe you're not Black, right? That's okay. We need you too, right? And so that means showing up at these court dates, providing court support for the families. The court date, the next date for Roger Fortson is April 14th, 9 a.m. at Okaloosa County Courthouse. And so we need people to show up. And then if you live close by, we want you to help raise awareness. And Sister Chantemekki raised that even her son, who I don't know how you could have been more perfect than Roger Fortson, than Senior Airman Roger Fortson. I don't know how you could have been more of a model citizen, right? I'm seeing his photo behind Sister Chantemekki's shoulder, right? I don't know how you could have been better than that, right? But even Roger Fortson, they commit what we call a double murder, right? They kill his body and then they attempt to assassinate his character.
Right. And that's why I told him they wasn't going to stain his wife.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And so Sister Chantemekki is, of course, her son's best advocate. And we have to amplify her voice. So anytime you hear anybody saying something that's out of line, throwing shade, throwing dirt on Roger Fortson's name, we say, no, you put some respect on his name.
That's right.
Senior Airman Roger Fortson should be alive.
Yes.
Senior Airman Roger Fortson was a good son who planned to be a good father. He was a good brother. He was doing everything that he was a great community member, right?
Yes.
He was a model for all the boys in his neighborhood.
Yes.
And so we have to restore his name. Every time they try to sully his name, we restore his name. And that goes for everybody. Sister Chantemekki can't be everywhere. And so everybody, this is why we say his name. We say his name, we share his photo. There's a photo that's out. You can just post a photo of him and say, Senior Airman Roger Fortson should be alive. Police stole his life, right?
That's
right.
And so we need to engage in those tactics. And then lastly, Sister Chantemekki, that's a lot of gas money driving back and forth as this mother. And so we want to make sure that we financially support her, right? We want to make sure that we financially support the movement. And Sister Chantemekki, you have a GoFundMe, I think, that we shared before, right?
I think I gave it to you guys in a group chat.
Right. So we need to make sure we'll share it again from BLM Grassroots.
And I'll share it on all my social platforms as well. My heart goes out to you. That's all I can say, because this is like beyond crazy in my eyes, for them to do this. And like you said, Doc, I'm already on board for starting a chapter down here. I'm just waiting for the process to start. So you already know. And I'll be on the front lines doing everything that I can do as well. That's why I'm here highlighting this story. And I'll continue to highlight stories like these as much as I can, because I'm all about bringing the things that they try to put in the dark to light.
And I think, and I know a lot of people don't agree with me, I think that's why we have to stop saying the people that do have the big cameras, have the publicity. We got to take that negativity that they have put in it out. Because even though Ben Crump is representing Roger, I get to tell Andre's story. I tell all my friends Deanna's son's story.
So tell us a bit about Andre too.
Andre just he got caught in the crossfire. He didn't survive what Roger survived. He a young lady called her baby daddy over there to settle a dispute that she had with her friend, which should have been a conversation. So that's a whole nother purpose I'm on as well. And when he got there, because of the area he was in, he saw somebody with a gun and he started shooting. Andre was coming up the steps and he ended up getting shot by the guy. He ended up getting shot. And the guy, because he was in the worst place, basically in Georgia, he told a lie and said that they tried to rob him. So instead of me, I feel like the police didn't do their due diligence, because you're not getting the person that killed my child. You're letting somebody go that's going to do it again. So they need to stop throwing away our kids. Stop throwing away our future. We have to find a way to connect with these babies. If you Google Paradise East apartment, I had no problem talking to nobody child over there. I never got my windows bust, my tires flat, none of that. I never got none of that. And I was able to go out there and talk to them kids like they did back in the day when I was being raised. Tell them, come here, sit right here. I need to talk to you. Why you doing X, Y, Z? And they said, okay, Mom. If they did it again, I didn't see them do it. And I'm not talking about little kids. I'm talking about the same kids that everybody's scared of. They 18, 19, 20. We got to stop letting these people program us and brainwash us. We're our own enemy. We're going to become extinct. It's too many people killing us.
That's right. So, Doc, what do you think can change in our communities to make sure that these things don't happen?
I think that we're in a moment, and Brother Tigmatic, I'm deeply spiritual.
Absolutely.
And you know that
Yeah.
for me, I'm Muslim, and this is the last days of Ramadan, which is the holiest period in our year.
Right.
And this is what we call our nights of power. It's when your prayers, your righteous prayers, are amplified and exponentially increased. And I think that, and I feel that, and God willing, I know that this moment, which is a crisis moment when the devil in the White House and the devils that walk among us are trying to move us into hell.
Right.
So that they can profit, right?
Right.
That this crisis moment, though, is also a moment that we can seize upon to advance good. And I think that's what God commands of us. So we say Roger Fortson's name because we want to do right in his name.
Right.
So what I believe we can have is a world of real safety. And that means making sure when you talk about those apartments, Sister Chantemekki, part of the reason things happen there is because people don't have what they need. They don't have.
It's gentrification. They're doing gentrification.
That's right. That's right. We can have a world if Donald Trump and Elon Musk and all them weren't hoarding billions of dollars, right? Elon Musk is on track to be the world's first trillionaire, right? He has more money than some whole countries. If they weren't hoarding all that money, everybody could be housed.
Right.
If they weren't hoarding all that money, instead of running around, these kids could be developing themselves into engineers and artists and all of the things that they need to be. And Brother Tigmatic, I know you're also a gun violence survivor, right?
Yes.
And so we want to, I think that when you say, what can we have? I believe we can have, as an abolitionist, I know we can have, inshallah, I know that we can have a world where all of our needs are met, where everybody can have all of what they need and most of what they want. And we can knock down the devil and send him back to hell. And so let's do that. And it sounds like a big task, but it's really not. when we heed the voice of God and we say, listen, I'm hearing both the pain, but also the resolve in Sister Chantemekki Fortson's voice. And I got an extra day and an extra dollar to meet her at the Okaloosa County courthouse on April 14th. Do that. Do that. I got an extra dollar to donate to her GoFundMe so that she has what she needs for her remaining child and children, right? We want to make sure that we do that. And when we all do that, they pale in comparison, and God wins and we win, and Roger Fortson wins.
That is so right. That is so right, Doc. Because our culture don't see. We really have everything we need. Other cultures trying to mimic us. They, as the kids say, they're twinning us. They made us feel like this not cute, that's not cute. But they're paying and dying to have what we have. If our kids, if we just understand we're number one. We are number one. We have more than enough.
That's right.
We know how to struggle. We make a joke out of on TikTok when they say help them or whatever the case may be. We're not panicking because we know how to survive. Once we're born and given that social security number, we go into survival mode then. That's when we are already in survival mode. I'm tired of teaching my kids, don't walk on that side of the street. Don't say that. Don't look like that. That is his culture. That is his birthright. He can't keep getting killed because of his birthright.
That's right.
So if other cultures don't want to turn away from their evil ways and obey God, let that be them. But the one thing we always had was God. Harriet Tubman freed slaves, and she had fainting spells. Fainting spells. That fainting spell she had could have saved Roger's life. He shot my baby in a split second. People keep saying they see strength. You don't see strength. You see the grace of God upon my life. You see the grace of God, because I cry more for the kids that's alive than I do my own kids. Because some of the stuff people think is cute, they think it's funny, they think it's safe. No, it's not. Tell your child the truth.
That's right.
Why you want to wear Gucci and he gonna kill you to wear it? Why you want to wear Nike and they don't want to give you a job? Why you want to go into Prada and Lennox? They're following you around if you black, because I went in there. So I'm not telling people something I heard. I'm telling you what I know. I lived in Paradise East Apartments. I went in and out that apartment 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Ask me what time I go in and out this house. Everybody congratulated me on this house. The most proud thing I was of this house was the room that I created for my son. Because I heard a song that he was singing where he said he did it all for a fantasy. Is anybody going to remember me? If I die tonight, I die, the world will change. I just hope they remember my name. That's what my gift said. That's what my child said. That same child they killed. When we got off on the expressway, somebody was homeless. He didn't give them $10, $20. If Roger had $100 and $200 in his pocket, he gave it to him. I watched my child get homeless people blue faces. I never said a word. But I have been with people, when I give people money, they'll say, why you doing that? That's too much. And I tell them, that's my money. You didn't work for it. But at some point, when you know it's wrong, you have to tell it, whether it's your friend, your family, it doesn't matter. Hey, that's wrong. I'm not saying embarrass them in front of everybody. But when you get back home, tell them it's wrong. Tell them why it's wrong. My family will tell you, when it comes to their kids, they will block me. Cause I don't care what that child did. You better go save them. I don't care. Go save them. And when they get over here, they ain't gonna want to see me cry. It's so many people in my family that's hurting because I can't stop these tears. I can't turn these tears off. They've seen me be strong for so long and they're confused. They don't understand why I can't bounce back. But I can't bounce back because they're still breathing.
Well, listen, you're doing better than you think you are, because you're very strong and resilient. I hear it through everything you're saying, and still giving it words of encouragement to people through your own pain.
Because we worth it. We
That's not
so
easy.
worth it.
It's not easy. Listen, and as a person who died and came back to life, I can literally tell you, listen, life is hard out here.
Right.
You know? So when we go through the things that we go through, we telling people so that they don't make those same mistakes, or, you know, so that they can learn from these things and grow. Because each one teach one is important.
Yes.
We got to teach everybody, our men, our women, our children.
It goes beyond the
All,
classroom.
you know,
It
not to
goes
make the
beyond
same
the
mistakes
classroom.
so that the cycle doesn't continue.
Right.
And we
You
don't
can
want the
break
cycle
it.
to continue. We want things to be strong for our people, because our people are resilient, and it shows through everything we see.
Everything.
Every corner
Yes.
of this planet.
Yes. And
Everywhere.
I think that's why they passed that gun law. Because I actually think those kids' eyes start really opening up.
Mm.
So I feel like that's why they passed that gun law. How they flooded the communities with drugs. I think that gun law was another weapon. Because one of the little boys they locked up, you gonna say he wasn't supposed to be around a gun. Okay. But the head of the household told him it was okay to have a gun. So you can't give me the candy and tell me don't take the paper off of it and it's good.
Right.
You can't do that. So it's
So,
just
Doc, let me ask you.
Sister Chantemekki, real quick, do you know Asya Good? ASYA
yes,
Good?
that's my daughter-in-law, Asia Good.
Okay, so that's the right GoFundMe.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I'm not tech savage, so she does everything for me.
Okay, I'm gonna share it out from Blmgrassroots. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Share it to me as well, Doc, so that way
Okay,
I can, you
I
know.
will. I will.
I
So
just
let me
want
ask you,
everybody
Doc,
to know I love everybody.
how do you feel about, you know, our people arming up, or do you feel like it's going to be some type of civil war because
Yep.
of the regime that's literally in office right now? Because that's what they're trying to call it, or make it to be.
But it's gonna have to be that.
Here's what I know. I know that there is nothing more dangerous than people pretending to live at peace when they've declared war on us.
Yes.
So you can walk around. I just tweeted something yesterday. You can walk around and pretend like all it is Black joy, and I just want to have Black joy, but Black joy is not a strategy, right? Yes, I want Black joy. I'm willing to fight for it. I'm willing to fight for it. And there's no such thing as joy without justice.
That's right.
So, yes, they've declared war on us. Are you going to pretend like they don't have a gun trained on your back? We're not even safe. That's what Senior Airman Roger Fortson shows us. You're not even safe in your own home, talking with your own girlfriend. You're not even safe if you've done everything right.
That's
and
right.
have pledged allegiance.
Yes.
Standing in front of an American flag, you're not even safe if you Black then.
Right.
They've still declared war on you.
Yes.
So you are foolish if you don't figure out how to fight back.
Yes. That's why them people in Lincoln Heights in Ohio, I take my hats off to them.
Look, can I go off on a riff on that real quick? Can I share something that I just learned, Sister Chantemekki? So I was in Cincinnati last week. I think I told you, because the last call I was out of town. That's where I was, in Cincinnati.
Yes.
I met with Lincoln Heights. Do you know Lincoln Heights was founded in 1938? It was a group of Black folks from where you from.
Right.
Brother Tigmatic, they're from North Carolina and South Carolina. And it was too oppressive and racist there. They knew they would never get freedom under the thumb of racist white folks. So in 1920, a group of Black people migrated from mostly the Carolinas to create this intentional community in Ohio that they call Lincoln Heights. It was incorporated in 1938. It is still a Black autonomous legal municipality. It's all Black. And so, yeah, you're right, Sister Chantemekki. I take my hats off to them for both knowing what community self-defense needs to be, but also when we went and visited them,
they stick together.
They stick together, but
they made one call. One call. Everybody was there. They made one call.
Because they built strong community. It's not just about having guns.
Right.
It's about all their kids. They farm.
Right.
They got their own food supply. They got their own government. Right. They are a strong Black community.
But that's what we need everywhere.
That's right.
We need it everywhere.
Can continue that cycle.
And we have to stop being afraid. We have to stop being afraid because Dr. Melina know more than I know. I'm not going to be afraid because guess what? I can't catch on to what she know. But she's going to teach it to somebody else and it's going to keep that cycle going and it's going to save us from generations to generations. That's our problem. Once we stop being scared of this one knowing more, or stop, as what my grandmama say, is more captains than you have chiefs or something like that. I don't never want to be a chief. Every job I have, they will tell you she do not want to be a supervisor, but everybody clean to me. I will show you everything, do whatever the supervisor tell me, but I never wanted to be a supervisor. But we have those people in Lincoln Heights. When I look at them and I look at Paradise East, and I think that's when the brainwashing comes in. They made us think that it was horrible. This was terrible. But our cars wasn't getting stolen. Our girls wasn't getting kidnapped. It was no sex trafficking. When you was outside them gates, you was getting carjacked, killed at the gas station. It was just so much going on. So once we wake up and understand, we're going to be our best security. And I've told my police friend, I told my military friends, it's going to come a day where you're going to have to choose. Ain't no more tokens. It's no more tokens. Everybody love who they love. You have to bring your wife or your husband right on over here on this side because you're definitely not going to be safe over there on that side.
That's right, especially when you choose.
You're going to have to choose. You're going to have to choose. And ain't no more being planted here to tell them because God is opening people's eyes. This year is about unveiling. God is showing you can't nobody say. I watch kids talk. Can't nobody say that they don't see what's going on. As Dr. Melina say, you see it. You either scared or you're in denial, but you see what's going on. Roger was so perfect. At 23, Roger's birthday was April the 15th. I dressed my child for his birthday. I dressed him to go to a birthday party at 23. People can't even dress their 5-year-olds. I know because I got a 10-year-old tell me, quick, mommy, I don't want to wear that. My child has never disobeyed me. And trust me, I was not the perfect parent because I was a single parent. I made plenty of mistakes. I paid attention to this one when I should have been paying attention to that one. I made plenty of mistakes. But the love he had for his mama never left his heart. He was more respectful than fearful of me. And that's what a lot of us have to get. Fear is not good. Respect will take you a long way. Because if they get too scared of you, they'll try to hurt you.
That's right. So let me ask you this. What role has activism played in your healing journey?
I called Deanna. I called Deanna all times of the night. And I feel like my son led me to her. I didn't even know her name, but I had her number and would call her. It took about 4 times and she was saying her name. And I said, you keep calling this lady crying, asking this lady stuff, and you don't even know her name. But she never not picked up. She never not said, you can't say that. She listened. And she said, well, did you do this? Did you do that? And I was like, I don't know how to do that. She didn't make me feel small. She was like, okay, well, she would text stuff to me. So it's a lot. And through her, I have met so many wonderful people. And as I tell them now, I'm gonna have to use my small words. I can't use y'all big words. And what I don't know, I'll write it down. And as I was telling you guys, I go to my daughter-in-law, Asia Good. I'm like, what they saying right here? Does this mean this right here? Because that's what my baby was for me. And I got spoiled from that. I would call Roger and Andre and say, come look what I do. And Andre be like, Mom, why you keep doing that? And I'm like, I don't know. So I just, what I say to people now, I don't even really talk about the death. I try to tell people unify. I tell them unity is everything. Unity and support. But Deanna, she has unified with me. She has kept my back. And I just really appreciate Deanna. I really appreciate her.
That's what's up. That's definitely what's up. So before we end the live, is there anything y'all want to say? Doc, let's start with you and with Sister Chantemekki.
I'll just say organize, organize, organize. I'll say, we have three things. We have our voice, we have our body, and we have our resources. Our voice should be used to amplify the name and tell the story of Senior Airman Roger Fortson. So make sure we use our voices in that way. We have our bodies. That means if there is a way humanly possible for you to show up on April 14th at Okaloosa County Courthouse at 9 a.m., please do that. And then we have our resources. We just tweeted out from Blmgrassroots on X, we tweeted out the GoFundMe for Sister Chantemekki. Make sure that she doesn't have to think twice about gas money or about food on the road or anything like that. So donate. And then, of course, we welcome you into Black Lives Matter Grassroots. Please follow us on all social media platforms at Blmgrassroots. And to be clear, Blmgrassroots is the boots on the ground for Black Lives Matter. We're the original formation. We are not the people who have all those hundreds of millions of dollars. But what we do have is people who are committed to movement. And the only thing I'll differ with Sister Chantemekki on is, sis, in every space I've been able to be blessed enough to listen to you on, you are one of the most brilliant, courageous, visionary, analytical people I've ever been in space with. And I am so grateful. This is a terrible way to meet, but I'm so grateful to be meeting you and to be struggling alongside you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you guys too.
Yeah, I want to say the same. I'm glad that I met you. I'm glad that we've been corresponding, having conversations. And this is not going to be the last time that we talk about this on the show, or any other time you need to talk. I'm just a call away.
Okay.
Anything you need, you let me know.
Okay. Thank you.
So I want to say thank you for your strength, your resilience, and your time. To open up about this is a hard thing within itself. So I understand it. And I want to say thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thank you guys for listening.
All right. So with that being said, I'm going to need y'all to turn y'all cameras off. And I'm going to end this thing off and do what I usually do. But don't hang up. All right. All right, y'all. Y'all heard what it was. And Sister Chantemekki Fortson, came here to share the story of her son, Roger Fortson, senior airman. And he gave his life to people, cared for people. And this is what he was, treated with in response: to be unalive, to be murdered. And for the sheriff to get a manslaughter charge is beyond me, because he killed that man. He killed him. So justice definitely has to be had, So I'm going to say this, people. Make sure that your loved ones, you keep them protected, because these people out here, they don't care. They savages. They savages. You know what I'm saying? They're straight up savages. And I'm going to say it straight like that because that's how I'm feeling in this moment. It might sound like I'm a little aggressive with this situation. And this because, to hear her story, it sickens me. To hear what happened to her sickens me. You know what I'm saying? So I got to say it how I feel. Support her. The GoFundMe will be on my socials. Show love and support. Meet her at this court date. Do everything in your power that you can to show love and support, because she needs it. And I'm going to be, supporting the best way I can, And I'm going to continue to bring stories like these to y'all so people can hear about it, because they try to put them in the dark, or they'll try to put it on, they'll try to put it on the air just for a quick second, and then you never hear anything about it, like it never happened. And that's what they try to do with everything. They try to just make it seem like, it's nothing. We're going to air this one time because, it was public and it's a big thing, but we never going to say nothing about it again. Even on the court date, they probably not even going to put that in the media either. Y'all know that. Y'all know how they do. So listen, I say this to say, Monique Smith says, I love you, cousin. You know what I'm saying? Keep your head up. Stay focused out here. Stay protected. Care for your loved ones. And like Doc said, it's more than just having guns. It's about training, caring for your own, having the resources that you need. We need that. So even if you get your gun, do more than that. Build a coalition of where y'all can, teach each other how to do more than just use a firearm. Grow some fruits and vegetables. Have some rules and principles to live and go by. Care for one another. Build a community to be stronger, because that's what we need out here. We need strong communities out here. And like Sister Mika said, everybody want to be the chief. Each one teach one to make more power on our side. I said this in a song. We can conquer and divide, but first it starts with love of self. If you don't love yourself, homie, how you going to help someone else? Love yourself so you can help others. It's important. Listen, I'm going to sign off like that. I hope y'all have a blessed night. Stay safe out here. And, until next time, y'all. Peace.